Peace. What to go on? And today I'm gonna talk about the minimalist setup versus the maximist setup, and how important it is to learn how to do more with less. If you can buy all the equipment, the expensive equipment, it is gonna enhance your music production. I'm not saying that it won't benefit you, but if you're new to making beats, maybe you want to learn the beat making process before jumping in and spending $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on gear, because gear don't make you a better producer. You can learn the process of beat making on a laptop with FL Studio. You will learn the process. Then once you upgrade to the equipment, you can go all the way in on it because you've already learned the process. I believe that once you learn the process of beat making, you can make the same type of beats on anything that's where it's available. You would need some sort of workstation, whether that's a DAW or a standalone. You're gonna need some sort of workstation. But once you learn the workflow, you can make the same beats on anything. That's why I really like Zen Beats so much, because it offers you what you need without going overboard. Some DAWs do that, give you a whole bunch of things that you would never use for your genre. If you're into sound design, that's fine. But sometimes you get too many virtual instruments that come preloaded that you never use. So learning the process of beat making will go further. And I remember a quote when I went to Full Sail. They was talking about Quincy Jones and how he was in a recording studio with these little speakers, listening to music off these little speakers. And one of the artists came in and asked him, "Why are you listening to this music on these little speakers? Little, just cheap speakers." And he said, "Well, if I can make it sound good on these, I can make it sound good on anything." So the minimalist setup will enhance your production. And when I went to Full Sail, I'm wondering, Full Sail was expensive. We talking 50, 60 grand for a bachelor's in music production. And when I started out, they gave me a laptop. It was a MacBook Pro. Now, they did put some money on the laptop. It was a MacBook Pro. I got an Avid M-Box and a dynamic microphone. I didn't even get a condenser microphone. And that goes back to the point that you can do more with less. So, of course, they're saving money by doing that. I didn't get no studio monitors. I got headphones, like studio monitor headphones. So, the point is, you have to learn how to make the best sound with what you have until you can get what you need. But the skills is more important than the gear. That's the whole point that I'm trying to make. The skills is more important than the gear. Learn the skills, learn the beat making process, learn from a traditional hip hop standpoint, and also learn from a modern standpoint. And once you learn the beat making process, it's easy to be on anything and make it pop. That's why the reason why I like Zen Beats so much is because I've been on a lot of DAWs. I've worked on a lot of different DAWs. And the reason why I like this one more than the other ones is because everything I need is there without any of the extras. And it's also layers. Any good DAW has layers where more pages and there's more in-depth learning. So, like I said, beat making, the process of beat making doesn't really change no matter what you're on. Now, the times have changed and you do have to adjust with the time, but the processes are very similar. And I want to do a challenge, a minimalist versus a maximist challenge, because I'm all for gear. Get the gear if you have it, but if you can't afford it, there's no sense of like taking out a loan or even making payments if you can't afford it. Especially if the gear is not accumulating anything. If you ain't making no money off the gear, what use is the gear? That's my point. That's my point. I think once you learn the beat making process, then you can do more with less. Zen Beats, I got these Mackie studio. They're not even studio monitors. They're multimedia monitors. But for content creation, grooving, and for a home studio, they work okay. You can do more with less. Because I know there's people out there that's buying all this gear and it's just kind of like just sitting there, or they don't really know how to use it. So at least take a class and learn the equipment that you're going to get before you get it. And then you have to also think about, well, what type of music are you going with? Because I do like the MPC. Where the MPC has evolved, it is more, they're bridging, they're merging the software with the hardware. And that, I commend them on that. I'm on board for that. Because the beats, it just makes the process easier. But a beat machine, MPC, or MPC style in general might not be something that you want. Everybody in the industry don't use an MPC to make beats. And some of my favorite producers don't even use an MPC. Many do. But if you look at the MPC and with the way it's constructed with the pads, I really feel like it's more of a drum situation. It's built more for drums and chopping samples. That has changed over the years. You can make full beats with it, but my whole point is learn how to do more with less. You'll be surprised at how the creativity will manifest when you don't have all of the bells and whistles and switches and knobs to work your magic. Can you work your magic in a phone? Can you work your magic with FL Studio Mobile, with Zen Beats, with Beatmaker 3, Logic? These mobile devices, can you make it work with that and a MIDI controller? Cheap MIDI controller. You hear the clicking and clacking and all that? But it works. You don't need a lot to have good results. So that's the point. Beat making sessions is coming up, live sessions and everything. Just work with me. I'm working with this right now because the algorithm is in our favor for small content creators. So it makes a lot of sense to keep on pushing with the music, even if I'm not at the level where I want to be at as far as cameras and all of that stuff. So when I do the beat making session, chances are you're just going to see the session and not me, because the camera that I'm using to record this video is the same phone that I'll be using to do the beats, to do the cook-ups. So, but that's it. I wish everybody, thanks for everybody that's tuning in and subscribed. I hope you gained something out of this. And I'll be back with more videos. Appreciate y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe if the content is for you. Peace.